Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be walking us through the installation and management of Jenkins. As you can see on this page, Jenkins is a CI tool, which means continuous integration. And continuous integration is the most important part of DevOps that is used to integrate various DevOps stages. Okay. Today we hear this buzzword DevOps, DevOps. DevOps seems to be one of the biggest things that has happened to IT today, as of today. And Jenkins is actually at the center of that DevOps because Jenkins is like the most popular CI tool right now. So Jenkins is an open source automation tool written in Java with plugins. What that means is Jenkins actually relies so much on plugin usage to perform most of the continuous integration functions. So as we go on, there are so many integration we're going to do. Like we want to integrate Jenkins with GitLab, we want to integrate Jenkins with SonarQube, we want to integrate Jenkins with Nexus, we want to integrate Jenkins with Maven, we want to do all these different tools we're going to integrate Jenkins with. We can do those things. However, we will need plugins in order for us to do a proper integration. So let's go ahead and install Jenkins. And we're going to start playing with some of the management and the plugins of Jenkins. So today I am using CentOS 7. As you can see, that is the version of my operating system. And I would recommend you go to the website of Jenkins and look for system requirements for your production environment. If you're running your Jenkins in a production environment, in my case, I am using a 2 gig memory server. I'm using this to run a test, so this should be fine for what I am doing. So this is the official website of Jenkins package download. Okay, https://jenkins.io.download. You want to come to this page and you want to, so this is the long-term support packages and this is the weekly packages. Okay, I'm going to pick one of the weekly packages and you want to get your package based on your operating system. As you can see, we have different types of operating system right here. I am running a CentOS operating system. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to pick one of the packages. As you can see, these are RPM packages, okay? But before we get our package, I want us to look at some prerequisites, okay, for installation. So it says we need Java. So if you're installing 2.164 a newer version, you need Java 8 or Java 11. So Jenkins is Java based. So you have to make sure you have Java installed on your machine before you install Jenkins. And we have to make sure we have the right version of Java. So I'm going to go ahead and check my Java. Oh, sorry. So Java version. So now it's telling me I have Java 1.8.0222, which is Java 8. So I'm good on my Java version. So I can go ahead and get the repo. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. Just in case you don't have the wget package installed, then this is not going to install. So wget helps us to download a package directly from the internet. So I have widget download, so I'm able to do that. Okay, we're also going to download our key. Now that we have that downloaded and we have our Java up to date, if you don't have your Java up to date, there are so many ways to actually install your Java. Okay, you can yum install your Java, you can get your Java package and install your Java. So now with this step, we can just do yum install Jenkins and install Jenkins. But I do like to come here to specify the version of Jenkins, because when you do yum install will install whatever version is available to you. But I like to install from here. So I do copy link location, and in my up directory, I paste that, and now I have my package right there. Cool. Now that I have my package installed, there are two ways I can actually install this package. I can do RPM IDH and my package name right there and install this package, or because it's .rpm extension, I can also do yum install Jenkins and specify my package. Okay, I like to do this because, again, this is going to install my package using yum. Is going to install this package and all dependencies. Okay, so I am going to install it this way, and I'm going to go ahead and pause these just to make sure everything works fine. So as we can see, our package installation is completed. And now I am going to go ahead and start Jenkins service. Few things you want to make sure. Okay, if you have your port running, if you have your firewall running, you want to make sure you enable the ports. Okay, because Jenkins is using an application server. It has an application server embedded, which is Tomcat, and by default runs on port 8080. Okay, you want to make sure you open that port. Okay, if you're running a production environment, you want to make sure that port is open. But if you're working in your lab and you want to ensure everything works perfectly well, I am going to recommend that you shut down your firewall. Okay, you disable your firewall and make sure your application is running, and then you can enable your firewall, at least to isolate any issue since you're still getting through things. Okay, so now we're going to start our application using service Jenkins start. Okay, and again, there are so many ways we can start this service in this case, because I'm running CentOS 7. But the service Jenkins start, and this is going to start our Jenkins, and we can check if our Jenkins is running by doing service Jenkins status, and it's saying our Jenkins is active. Another way to also check if our Jenkins service is running, we can do ps-ef Jenkins. Okay, this is going to tell us Jenkins is running. Okay, if I do Jenkins, if I do service Jenkins stop. Okay, I just shut down Jenkins. Let's check the service now. You see, it's not giving us any process running for Jenkins. Okay, but if I go back and start Jenkins and check the process again, okay, I think I just stopped it. starts. Okay, and if I check the process now, we can see different processes. We can also do ps ef, sorry, aux, ps aux pipe grep Jenkins. Okay, it's going to give us similar results, just saying Jenkins is running. If I come right here to my browser, I can do HTTPS because I have my DNS set up. I can do prod, which is my fully qualified domain name, prod Jenkins dot datanix.com column 8080, and this should be able to pull my Jenkins up. Okay, and note it says in order for me to retrieve my password, I need to go to valid Jenkins secret initial admin password. Okay, this is very important. Okay, I'm going to open a file right here. I'm going to open a file and I'm going to paste this link right here. And when I open this link, this is my admin password. So note, anytime something happened during the installation and you missed your password or something happened, do know that there is a password for the admin. Okay, you can always come back to this place and copy the admin password if you've not changed it. So if I paste this now and do continue, I don't need to save that. So customize Jenkins. So like I told you guys that Jenkins works using plugins. Plugins is what actually drive Jenkins integration capability. Jenkins is able to do most or all of his work because it has the ability to integrate. And with this tool is a CI tool, which means continuous integration. Without integration, then this tool will be useless. And in order for proper integration to be done, this tool needs plugins. So now we need to install plugins. So we have two options. Jenkins can install suggested plugins for us, or we can select plugins that we want. Okay, I like Jenkins to pick selected plugins for me. So I'll click select plugins, and now it's going to start getting plugins for us. And the benefit of this is if we have plugins installed that we really don't need, we can always uninstall them. If at the end of this system installation of plugins, there are other plugins we would like to install and the system didn't install, we can always look for those plugins and add them to this to our Jenkins. So we're going to wait for this plugin installation to be done, and I'll be back. And our plugin is done, and now we have to create our first admin user. Okay, create our first admin user, and I'm going to use name or Joseph, and I am going to create a password. And the full name will be, I'm just going to write OJ, and I'm going to put my email, and I'm going to continue this as, you know what, I'm going to save and continue because I want to save that user. And now this is telling me this is my Jenkins URL, okay, which is what I have right here. And I can save and finish. Then I can start using Jenkins. Okay, so we've just completed the installation of Jenkins, and once we have this completed, and it should bring out the page login page, the first page of Jenkins, and we're gonna start messing around with the management of Jenkins. So if for any reason you're stuck on this page, like I am right now, um, everything is fine. What I would recommend you do is remember this password file that we have saved. You make sure you have that copied, and again, it's going to be located under /valid Jenkins secret initial admin password. Okay, and all you want to do is service Jenkins restart. Okay, it's okay to restart when you have issues like this. Restart Jenkins, and now you can restart your browser. To restart this, it should take us back to, and it should bring us back here. And now, so remember I created a user, old Joseph, but because our system stuck, I'm not sure if we'll be able to log in as that user. If we're not able to log in as that user, it's not a deal breaker. Okay, it's not a deal breaker. Oh, we're able to log in as the user, good. But in the case you're not able to log in with the user, we can always copy our password and log in as admin. Okay, I think it switched to our user, okay, which is even better. So we have old Joseph, and we technology.com, which is our user. So first thing I want to do, I want to go to I want to click on Manage Jenkins. I want to go to my user management, manage user, right? And I'll click on this. Okay, so we actually deleted the admin user because we selected, we created a new admin user and I use my name, and that's why we can log back in as admin user. But it's always good if in the case you try, in the case your system hung like it did for us, and you try to log in with the account you created and you're not able to log in, okay, you can always try back and use the admin account with the password I showed you in this location. And when you log in, you can always come back to Manage Jenkins. You can always go back to Manage User. And in that case, you will see the admin user here. But because our user changes was successful, the user change we did was successful, so we have this old Joseph. And now I can create another user, okay, and call this guy admin, okay. And I can just say admin at okay. I can just create that, and I have two accounts. So say you have about 20 developers you want to onboard, okay? This is your opportunity to onboard this developer locally on your Jenkins server. There are two ways you can actually onboard user on your Jenkins server. You can add your Jenkins server to your Active Directory, okay? You can add it to your Active Directory, or if you have any other centralized user management platform, Active Directory is one of them. You can integrate this to your Active Directory, and you can give people access from your Active Directory to your Jenkins, and you can also have people log into your Jenkins locally, okay? So creating account here, means you are giving people access to log into Jenkins locally. I'm going to log out now. I'm going to log back in as admin. So now I can log back in. Come on. Okay. Now I can log back in as admin. So I have two users now. I have this user and the admin. I just tried. Okay. So that is one thing I want to show you about the user management. Um, Another piece that is very, very important in Jenkins, okay, this part of Manage Jenkins is very important. So once you click this Manage Jenkins, this is like the configuration part of Jenkins. And all those things are things you're going to get familiar with, okay? The first one is to configure your system. Configure your system. You want to configure your Jenkins system. This is where you define different tools, the paths, most of the plugins you're going to install. This is the way you actually do some of your integration. Okay. But before we do that, I want to show you plugins area. See where it says manage plugins. If you click on manage plugins and you see where it says available, if you click on available, this is going to give you the list of available plugins that you can add. But you will notice they are not checked, which means they are available for you to use, but that doesn't mean you are currently using them. You're not currently using them, but just in case you want to use them, they are definitely available for you to use. Okay? And these are installed plugins. Ant plugin. These are all the plugins that we have installed. Remember, during the installation, we are told the system to install plugins for us, and these are the plugins the system installed for us. Gradle plugin, other plugins, metrics authorization, all these cool plugins the system installed for us. And we can always go to advanced. Okay, say you need this plugin and it's not available and it's not installed, you can actually go to Jenkins plugin website, download the plugin on your local machine and just do browse, and it will take you to the downloaded part of your local machine, and you can pick the plugins and upload the plugin. Okay, and you can upload the plugin. So you can get plugins from available plugins that are not installed, or you can go through advanced and manually download plugins. There are some environment that doesn't have access to the internet. If you're running your Jenkins in a lockdown environment where you don't have access to the internet, this box advanced is going to come very handy, because all the plugins you're going to need, you have to go online and download. Okay, the downside to that is most of these plugins require other dependencies. So maybe you need plugin A, but in order for plugin A to work, you need plugin B, C, and D. So now, in order for you to install plugin A, okay, if you're downloading this manually, that means you have to download plugin B, plugin C, plugin D. Unfortunately, plugin B, C, D may also have dependencies. So you will need to get those dependencies before you can download plugin B, C, D, and subsequently download plugin A and install everything in that order. Okay, so that's for manage plugin. So another thing I want to show us is system configuration. System configuration is where you define a lot of things on your Jenkins. Okay, this is where you define a lot of things. So by default, your Jenkins is installed under var lib Jenkins. Don't ever forget this. Var lib Jenkins. So your workspace is going to be under Jenkins, valid Jenkins. That is where your workspace is. So the home directory of Jenkins, you know, when you create a home directory in Linux by default, user home directory is always /home/ the username, except you specify a different home directory for that user. But by default, it's going to be home/ that user. Say you have a user named Joe. The home directory by default is going to be /home/Joe. But in the case of this application Jenkins, the home directory is going to be /valid Jenkins. So everything that has to do with this application starts from valid Jenkins. Okay, so these are different things that we need to set on our environment. We can see our, so if you have GitHub server and you want to integrate GitHub, this is how you had your server. So in our case, we do not have GitHub, but we do have GitLab. So looks like the GitLab plugin is not installed. We may have to install it, okay? So this is our Git. So this is where you define your Git config, okay? You define your Git config. And these question mark here, these are pointers on different things, okay? So this is saying, if given, Git config user, this is called before the build. So we can specify our shell. Also here, you can have bin shell, bin bash, depending on what your shell is. But for the purpose of what we're doing, our training today, I'm going to go to manage plugins and I'm going to look for available plugin. I'm going to type GitLab. And as you can see, we have GitLab here and it's not installed. So I am going to click GitLab. So we can see all the GitLab right here. So I can click this, I can click the GitLab merge request builder, GitLab hook, and we can see security warning on these. You want to pay attention to these warnings. I can GitLab authentication, and by the time I do download and restart, or download without restart, I can do download and install after restart. Okay, install without restart. So this is going to install everything I clicked. Okay, everything I clicked. But you'll notice I did not click this guy, but it's a dependent on what I'm installing. So it's installing it. I did not click this guy. It's a dependent, so it's installing it. Okay.